The biblical story of Noah and his sons has been the cause of grief for black Africans for centuries. Throughout the slave trade, Europeans justified the enslavement of the Africans with this story. They truly believed that God cursed sub-Saharan Africans and destined us as their slaves. Starting with Adam and Eve, they came up with the pre-Adamic theory, putting black people outside of the human race. The next was Noah's curse of his grandson, which became in time their single greatest justification for the enslavement of black Africans. I remember as a kid, our class took an excursion to the Elmina Castle for the first time, and during the tour, I secretly asked the guide why all this happened. Noah cursed us, he said. Noah in the Bible? Yes, my son, was his response. This really disturbed me, so I took it upon myself to search this out, and I'll present you with my findings after so many years of studies. From 1848 till 1978, the Mormon Church had an official Cain doctrine. They said there was war in heaven and 2/3 of the angels fought for Jesus, and another 1/3 fought for Lucifer. The 2/3 became humans on earth, and the 1/3 became demons without bodies. Those angels who fought for Jesus but were less valiant were punished. These were the lineage of Cain. Cain, son of Adam and Eve, was born a white man, they said, but because he killed Abel, God put a mark on him. This turned him into the first Negro. He married his sister and she became Negro number 2. They became the parents of the Negro race. Let's look at a couple of more quotes. You see, some classes of the human family that are black, uncouth, uncomely, disagreeable, and low in their habits, wild, and seemingly deprived of nearly all the blessings of the intelligence that is generally bestowed upon mankind. Cain slew his brother. Cain might have been killed, and that would have put a termination to that line of human beings. This was not to be, and the Lord put a mark upon him, which is the flat nose and black skin. Another quote. Shall I tell you the law of God in regard to the African race? If the white man who belongs to the chosen seed mixes his blood with the seed of Cain, the penalty under the law of God is death on the spot. This will always be so. This is the reason why everyone has to study this book, especially the story of Noah and his family. If it was the source and justification of our enslavement, we better know what it really says. You will be surprised what it doesn't say. Some nuggets about the Hebrew text before delving into the story. This book called the Torah, given to us by the Creator, is destined as an instrument of communication. The Creator is communicating to us through it. My only interest in this book is, what is the Creator's message? What is the Creator communicating to me? When I pick up this book, the question in my mind is, what is His message? Now, what I'm going to say is absolutely crucial, and it will save you from your own errors and errors of others if you understand it well. Books can have meaning. Only humans can have intentions. The meaning is not the subject here, it's the intention. The Creator's intentions of communicating this book is what I am interested in. This is my Torah, he says. With this book, I'm going to communicate to you. My question is, how? What am I supposed to do with the book to get the communication? If he does not tell me, then there is zero communication. One thing you should know about the Creator who gave this book is that he speaks in layers. The psalmist tells us, God spoke one thing, I heard two, for God has strength. This is the same way the Torah is written, with layers of understanding, intentionally hidden in the text. This is why we are told by Solomon The honor of God is to conceal a matter, whereas the honor of kings is to search out a matter. Let's look at an example. Genesis 37. And they took him and cast him into the pit. Now the pit was empty. There was no water in it. The pit being empty means there's nothing in the pit. You already told me that. Why do you go on further to tell me there was no water in the pit? Do I not know that? Do I not know there's no water in the pit? So for what reason, for what purpose did the Torah write there was no water in the pit? Because the pit was only empty of water. This Torah is written with precision. No word is extra. If something is repeated, there is a reason why. A word of caution. The Torah is not the Hebrew equivalent of the New York Times or Daily Graphic. It's not meant for casual, informal perusal over a cup of tea. It requires careful, precise study. And when you do that, you will often find that what you thought it said just isn't there. Matter of fact, something quite different is there. Now let's go to the story of Noah and his sons.